Hey, friends, I'm Thea Charles, and you are listening to the Push or Pivot podcast. In this series, we discuss the path someone chooses when they are at a crossroads of their life. Do they push through the adversity, or do they stop, reassess, and pivot? In this episode, we are talking to Kristen David, a former trial lawyer turned business coach guru. Hello, Kristen. I am so excited to have you today. Really looking forward to this conversation. Hearing about your business and all the things that you've done. I was reading your bio and I'm like, I can't wait. I'm like ready to dive in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here as well.
Oh, great. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I used to be a slave to my law firm business. I was a young attorney, got in, became a managing partner, and I was juggling. How do you manage being like the technical lawyer side, but also just all the management? And how do you deal with hiring and firing and the marketing and the financial controls and trying to learn how to juggle that? And as much as I was a great attorney, I really struggled with how to manage the whole business side of things. And that led me to a lot of misery in the early part of my career, and that I was working just crazy hours, never seemed to have enough time to get it all done. And so my journey was that I learned how to run a business like a business. I got some training and some help and wrote my first business plan, doubled from $350,000 a year to $700,000 in 9 months, which was very fast growth, but very cool. Hired a bunch of people, fired a bunch of people because I didn't know what I was looking for correctly. And at that 9-month mark, I realized, okay, I'd kind of hit what I had in my business plan. So I had to rework my business plan, and I doubled again in the next 9 months. Wow. Breaking the $1 million barrier, which was a big thing for me at the time. It was very exciting. But the best part was I learned how to systematize my business and make it so that all my employees could do the great job they were capable of without me micromanaging them, as we all tend to do. And so, so I built a successful business, sold it, and pivoted into doing business coaching, and have absolutely loved it, and have found that I can help thousands of people rather than just one client at a time. So it's been an incredible journey.
Wow. I have so many questions. Like, what? So, oh my goodness. How did you, what was the thought process when you decided to kind of go from something that's so successful and pivot into something completely different? Like, what was going on?
Well, as you know, I mean, having coaches around you, getting the right, having somebody that's going to call you on your bullshit, call you on, like what the noise inside your head, helping you gain clarity with what you want to do in life. I had my own coaches that were helping me learn how to run my business like a business. Once I found the framework, and even when I broke the $1 million mark, as much as I was so excited by what I had done, I had seen others do it as well and break that $1 million mark. And I realized it's not that hard. It's a very predictable process once you understand it. And part of that was realizing I actually, as a lawyer, defended doctors and surgeons and dentists and lawyers in malpractice cases. So I saw a lot of other professionals, and a few of them do it right. And a lot of business owners, no one taught them how to be a true business owner. Yeah. And so I realized that there were so many people out there that needed this kind of help. And with the help of my coaches, helped me realize that I could always go build another $1 million business. And there was such an opportunity to transition to that next phase of helping as more of a business coach.
That's awesome. And I really like that frame of, I could just build another one.
Yeah.
Talk about a growth mindset.
it's there's something liberating in knowing that. And I hope that every single business owner out there gets there, where not only can they build their own thriving, profitable business, because we've all been there where money comes in the door and money goes right back out the door, right? We've all, no judgment zone. I was there too.
Yep.
And it's such a different reality of life when you know that there's cash in the operating account, you know that the marketing plan is working, you know, like you can start enjoying life on such a different level. And when you know how to use those kind of 4 pillars of business management, it's easy. And then you can just, you have, I guess, that confidence to go build another business. But even then, I will say, as much as you kind of addressed that, being a lawyer was, and I think we had talked about this before, my identity, everything I was about up until that time. I mean, I became a lawyer at 24. And so my whole world was being a lawyer. I was so caught up in the lawyer aspect of it. And transitioning to say, okay, I'm going to do something else with my life. That was like the key pivot in my entire life. Like I could have kept being that lawyer, business owner, but I realized there was more out there that was possible. And that was scary. It took me months to make that decision, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that, because before I became a coach, I worked in a hospital and I was a transplant person, and that was my identity. And coming out of that was just it was scary. And it took me a long time to be able to like make that pivot. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. So you mentioned pillars. Can you tell us what those 4 pillars are?
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to keep it simple for busy business owners. You already have enough on your plate. So it's kind of just breaks down into 4 pillars. First one's planning. A little bit of planning, like just a 60-minute sketch of a business plan, can go a long ways to getting clear about who you're trying to target, what you're trying to do. So the first element is planning. Number 2 is the marketing and sales, because cash flow is king. If we're not actually making money, either helping clients with our services or products, like the whole thing fails right there. So that's the second pillar, is marketing and sales. The third is management, and that includes all the day-to-day operations, includes the managing your people, the tools like computers that will help them do a great job and be more efficient. And so, you know, as you start getting more clients in, you need to hire. And so that management core becomes key. And the fourth pillar is the financial controls, because if you don't be a good money manager, I've seen amazing businesses thriving, lots of clients, lots of staff, and the owner's kind of miserable because they're not taking home any profit. They're not actually making it all come together. So we try to help business owners learn that foundation so that they can use their time in the right places, so that they can build and grow and build those systems. So eventually it runs without them and they don't have to be there all the time.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. And like just having that work-life balance.
Yeah,
for sure. Gosh, I had something and it just slipped out of my mind. Like, for anyone who's listening, right now we're in quarantine land.
Yes.
And you'd mentioned, you know, like when we were talking about the growth mindset, about money comes in and money comes out. What would you tell someone right now that's kind of freaking out?
So I actually just wrote an article about this, of 3 ways to maintain revenue when clients quit coming in. And so there's a lot of great things we can do from home. And it's a lot of it is, you know, pick up the phone and call everyone that's worked with you, that's either been a client or a potential client, and just care, ask them how they're doing. But then there's B, C, and D to do. B is while you're on the phone with them, after you've kind of gotten through and really asked them how they're doing, then ask, is there, you know, anything else we can help you with? Is there anything that I can take off your plate that can help make your life better? sometimes all they need is just an introduction, like a referral to somebody else. It might not be your service, but you can still help that person, right? Be that go-giver, as Bob Berg says, of like helping that person get to that next step. And that can be the biggest reward in the world. I mean, just helping that person. Maybe it's even just a suggestion. It's not even a referral. And they'll go, oh, I didn't think of that. Yes, that's what I should do. So empower yourself and this person you're talking to like get to that next step, whatever it is. Third would be get some feedback. Ask this person if they worked with you, hey, can you give me a little feedback? What was it like to work with us? What was the best part of working with us? What could we do better? Are there any other services we could offer? And so in that way, you're getting market research. You also may get a glowing testimonial. Take notes, guys, because you can, and then ask them, can I use that on, or would you go to Facebook and make that post a recommendation, or, whichever platform you need some testimonials. So, get that market research. Let's make use of this good conversation and learn more about how you could better help your clients or customers. And then finally, don't be shy about asking, hey, do you know anybody out there that needs my help? Needs help with what I do? And people that are happy customers, raving fans, they will be like, yeah, let me introduce you to a couple people and have a plan. Are you going to ask them to email the introduction? If so, give them some sample email language. Are you asking them to send them to a website for a referral program? Like, what's your mechanism for referrals? Make it easy on the person. But in one phone call, wow, we can care about a person. We can see if we can help them. We can get feedback, and we can potentially pick up some new clients. So part of it is just engaging your community, interacting with them. And this can be on Zoom. It can be on phone. So yes, there's, simple ways to like help your business thrive during this time.
Yeah. And that's awesome for any time.
Yeah.
Acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. This is so awesome. Tell me more.
Well, it's part of these things of, I'm a big fan of the fact that we build businesses and we go through life supposedly to be happy. And yet a lot of us get into that day-to-day grind, and the joy wears off a little. No judgment zone. I've been there too, right? We've all been there. And it's picking up and finding that silver lining in everything that happens in the day, even if it's a piece of bad news, find the silver lining. It might be, well, okay, this failure tells me I'm one step closer to success, right? You fail your way to success. Or maybe this bad moment is like, well, at least I'm learning what not to do again in the future, right? There's a positive there.
Yes.
And just changing that transition of the viewpoint so that we enjoy every day of life and that the business is working for us. And that's a big part of it for business owners.
That is such solid advice. That is really, I'm holding on to that one for myself.
Well, I think you already, I've listened to your podcast. You have great people on. And I think that is a thread that resonates in a lot of different areas about take care of yourself, find the good in every day and in every little thing. My mantra is called thrive in the moment. And so it's always finding the good. So,
I started this because I just wanted people to see the possibilities. There's always something out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes, we just have to hear it different ways. Quick story. When I was a trial lawyer, I would do these 2-week-long trials. And at the very end of the trial, we'd often be able to engage with the jury, and they'd stick around and ask us questions and give us feedback. And it always amazed me that there'd be a juror that would say, well, it wasn't until the 4th or 5th expert testified and said XYZ that I finally understood it. And I was like, wow, how could they have gone through 4 other people, all that testimony before the light bulb kind of went on? Yeah. But it's that feeling that sometimes you just have to hear it from a different voice. And all of a sudden you resonate with that voice. You go, oh, it all clicks. It all makes sense. So I think it's great. That's why I love listening to podcasts, and
Mhm.
you always hear different perspectives and voices sharing in a slightly different way.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So, and that's like basically marketing, right? Like
Yeah.
we wouldn't see the same commercials over and over again if we were going to get it the first time.
Yeah.
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 Really, it takes, what do they say, like 7 times or 10 times? I don't remember. That not important. But, but if you could leave us with one piece of advice, I mean, you've already left us with so much, but can I take another one from you? What would that be?
Um, wow. Just one. Okay. I would say it goes back to the first pillar of start with a small plan. Write it down because that's what makes it real. Share it with somebody who's going to hold you accountable, and execute it on it every single day. And just be resilient to your own plan, because otherwise it's easy to get caught up in life and what other people's problems kind of throw in your direction. And whether your personal plan is to hone a skill or to make more money or whatever it might be, like, be true to yourself, make that plan and execute on it. Keep it simple, don't try to overwhelm it. But I think that's where we see the most progress in people. And I can say from a personal standpoint, that's how I built a 7-figure business and sold it, was always having a plan and staying clear with what I needed to do. So that would be it.
That's awesome. That's not just it. That's awesome. Don't downplay that. That was awesome. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, how can they find you, Kristen?
So we're all over social media. The Kristen David is the numbers, or www.uplevelingyourbusiness.com. We also have a Facebook group for business owners on Upleveling Your Business. Every day we put nuggets in there to help people hone their skills. And I just believe that busy business owners need everything in like bite-sized chunks so they hear it and start executing. Like, don't overwhelm me with 4 hours. Give it to me in a small chunk. Let me go do something and make my life better right away. Maybe it's because I like instant gratification. I don't want to like put in
a lot of us do.
Yeah. So yes, uplevelingyourbusiness.com. We've got all kinds of free resources, webinars. There's YouTube video playlists for busy business owners, all kinds of. I'm a big fan of share the love, give lots of information. So if anybody wants to hear more, they're welcome to get on board with our social media and check out our website.
I will be there.
Awesome.
Sure. This has been fabulous, and it's like bite size, and I know we're gonna get so much out of it. So thank you so much. Thanks for being on.
Thank you. You're welcome.
What did you take away from Kristen's story? What are you willing to work on every day? Do you have a story to tell about a crossroad in your life? I'd love to hear it. Contact me on Instagram at pusherpivot or email hello@thearenel.com. That's TheaRenel.com. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and join me next time on the Push or Pivot podcast.